Good morning, everyone. Okay, then we'll continue the yesterday's class. So, in the last class, we have covered the galvanic cell, its construction and representation of the cell, everything. In today's class, we will see the determination of the electrode potential. So, here the absolute value of electrode potential cannot be determined. We cannot identify the exact value of the electrode potential, but we can identify or we can measure the electrode potential with respect to some reference electrode. Here mainly we will use the reference electrode is standard hydrogen electrode or normal hydrogen electrode. And at a particular temperature, the electrode potential value of the standard hydrogen electrode can be considered as a zero. We assume as a zero with respect to the standard hydrogen potential. We can calculate the remaining metals electrode potentials or remaining elements electrode potential values. So here absolute value of electrode potential. We will use some reference electrode to identify the electrode potential. So here the reference electrode is hydrogen electrode. That is generally we can call standard hydrogen electrode. Or we can say normal hydrogen electrode. This will represent like SHE, standard hydrogen electrode, or normal hydrogen electrode, NHE. The electrode potential value for the standard hydrogen electrode is assumed to be zero. So here hydrogen electrode potential of standard hydrogen electrode is zero. This is very important. We assume it to be zero. With respect to that, we can calculate. Then how it look like the hydrogen electrode? We will see here hydrogen electrode. This is also called primary reference electrode. Sometimes this question also can be asked in the board level. Explain about the primary reference electrode or hydrogen electrode. It is called primary reference electrode. Means we have secondary reference electrodes also to identify the electrode potentials. You can see the cell construction and functioning of this hydrogen electrode. And this hydrogen electrode is containing platinum wire which is dipped in HCl solution. This is a setup of the hydrogen electrode. This is a platinum wire. And at the end of the platinum wire, we have the platinum black. And this is a platinum black. This is coated with the powdered platinum. And this platinum wire is absorbed by the hydrogen gas. We will pause hydrogen gas. So hydrogen gas can be absorbed over this platinum wire. And this entire setup will dip into the 1 molar HCl solution. 1 molar HCl solution. So this is called hydrogen electrode. Platinum wire which is containing a platinum black at the bottom, and that is dipped in 1 molar solution which is saturated with the hydrogen gas. The kind of absorption of gas over the metal surfaces. Now we can represent this hydrogen electrode. This is just the construction of the hydrogen electrode. It can be accessed as both anode and cathode. This is the example for the gas ion electrode. If it acts as an anode, in case of anode we can represent the cell. In case of anode, first we have tried the electron carrier electrode. Then this is a gaseous electrode, so hydrogen gas, and which is dipped in its own ionic solution HCl. This is aqueous. So if it acts as an anode, the cell reaction will be like this. At anode, oxidation can take place, hydrogen can be converted into the H plus ion by releasing electrons. This electrode can be acts as a cathode also. In case of cathode, the cell reaction is like this. And this is a cell representation, HCl, H2 platinum, and the cell reaction. At cathode, reduction can take place. And this H plus ion, you can take electrons and convert it into the H2 gas. These are the reactions if it acts as anode and cathode. And these electrode potential values are 0. And for the measuring of electrode potential values, this is one of the off cell. It is not the complete cell, and this off cell will connect to the another off cell whose electrode potential is to be measured. Let us take one example here. If I want to calculate the electrode potential of zinc electrode potential we have to measure. Then here zinc can be taken as an anode. We can take one off cell, and here we can connect into the hydrogen electrode. This is a standard hydrogen electrode, and this is a zinc electrode. And these two can connect externally with the help of ammeter and internally through the salt bridge. Now this ammeter can produce the EMF value. So when you connect these two electrodes, due to the potential difference between the two electrodes, it can generate some electric current. That EMF can be produced in this cell. That EMF. This EMF we can calculate experimentally with the help of the ammeter. So in this case, if it is a zinc and a standard hydrogen electrode, we will get EMF value is 0.74 volts. Then what is the EMF according to the cell? We have the formula. EMF is equals to E cathode minus E anode. In this particular case, zinc here acting as an anode. Here standard hydrogen electrode we have taken as a cathode. This is a cathodic off cell and zinc is an anodic off cell. Now E cathode, that is equals to E cathode, that is the standard hydrogen electrode, minus E anode, zinc electrode. The reduction potential of zinc. So always we have to take the reduction potentials here, zinc 2 plus zinc. We know that standard hydrogen electrode always assumed to be 0, and this value becomes 0. Now that overall value equal to 0.74. Then the reduction potential of zinc will be equal to minus 0.74 volts. So like this we can calculate the electrode potential of any electrode by taking this reference electrode. Similarly, if you want to calculate copper, in place of zinc you can take copper, and if you want to calculate silver and platinum, whatever it is, you can take some metal M, that if you connect it to the standard hydrogen electrode, you will get the respective electrode potential value. So here sometime we may get the question, here hydrogen electrode we connected to the cathodic off cell. You can take this as anode also. For example, if you take reverse, hydrogen electrode here as an anode and zinc electrode as cathode. Again you can connect externally. This is a zinc electrode and this is standard hydrogen electrode internally through salt bridge. Again when you connect, again the ammeter can show some reading, and here you can observe the EMF value. Previous case it is 0.74, but in this case you may get minus 0.74 volt, the resultant value. Again from this minus 0. E nothing but E cathode minus E anode. Here cathode is the zinc directly, minus anode standard hydrogen electrode whose value is 0, minus 0.7. Again directly you will get the zinc electrode potential value is minus 0.74 volts. Like this, either you can connect the standard hydrogen electrode to the cathode or anode to measure the electrode potential of a given electrode. Like this, we can measure the electrode potential. We can determine the electrode potential of a given electrode. Here, electrochemical series. Electrochemical series is nothing but the arrangement of electrode potential values, either increasing or decreasing order. That is called electrochemical series. You can determine the electrode potential values by using that hydrogen electrode. After that, if you arrange the all electrode potential values, mostly here we will take the reduction potential values, either they are increasing or decreasing order. Then you can observe one series. So zinc, copper, silver and so on, increasing or decreasing order, lithium, sodium, potassium, like that. And that series we can call electrochemical series. So this is the arrangement of electrode potential values. Electrochemical series nothing but arrangement of electrode potential values. Your electrode potential means reduction potential only. Already I told you. If not mentioned that, then you have to assume it is a reduction potential. So electrodes. Increasing or decreasing order. This arrangement of the electrode potential values of the electrodes in their increasing or decreasing order. That is electrode chemical series. And you can see the electrochemical series here, or you can see the NCERT textbook. They have given the list. Here we will take some of examples. You can observe the value at the top. You can see the lithium. You can view the lithium and whose electrode potential value is minus 3.05. I'll write a few of examples here. No need to take the entire table. And also no need to remember this. Mostly they will give in the question with itself. In the question, apart from this electrode potential values, you can observe sodium, potassium. Yes, we are taking the reduction potential values. Zinc reduction potential value, hydrogen reduction potential value. After some this is 0. This is a reference value. And after that, some elements like copper. Here you can see the positive reduction potential values. And so on. At last, you can see the fluorine plus 2.87. So in the electrochemical series, you can see at the bottom is the fluorine. The top can be occupied with lithium, and in between we have the hydrogen 0. And the least reduction potential values with lithium and the highest reduction potential values with fluorine. This is according to their experimental analysis. And so this overall series we can call electrochemical series. Just arrangement of the electrode potential values in their increasing or decreasing. Here we are taking increasing values, minus 3.05 and so on. We are taking the increasing values of applications of electrochemical series. So here, electrode with least reduction potential values can act as a strong reducing agent. Or metal or element with least reduction potential value. Acts as good reducing agents. And element with high reduction potential values can act as a strong or good oxidizing agents. And element with more reduction potential values. Can act as good oxidizing agent. So from electrochemical series, you can see that in the top you can see the lithium. So among all elements, lithium is the strongest reducing agent. Overall periodic table, lithium is a strong reducing agent. And similarly, you can see the electrochemical series at the bottom, you can see the fluorine with more positive values. So that is the strongest oxidizing agent. And the remaining lithium, after that potassium, sodium, aluminum, there are some good reducing agents. Apart from this, potassium, sodium, calcium, aluminum, etc., which are having very less reduction potential values, can act as a good reducing agents. Mostly metals can act as a good reducing agent. The reason is due to the less reduction potential values. And next to the elements which are having high reduction potential values like fluorine, chlorine, you can see again in the electrochemical series. These are the elements: fluorine, bromine, silver, manganate or manganetes, dichromates. They are having high reduction potential values, so hence can act as good oxidizing agents according to their electrode potential values. That is one of the application. And the second one, here while constructing electrochemical cell, we have to take one anode and one cathode. Generally, we know that anode oxidation can take place at a cathode reduction takes place. Here, element with less reduction potential values can act as an anode. This is also very important point. Always anode should be constructed, or you can take the anode with the least reduction potential values. And cathode should be taken with more the element or the electrode which is having more reduction potential value. Why? Because least reduction potential value means what? So less reduction, less possible to undergo reduction. Anode means we should undergo the oxidation, but anyhow should not undergo the reduction, opposite. So the element or the electrode which is having less reduction potential values can undergo very easily oxidation. That is why that can be taken as the anode. And the more reduction potential value means what? This can undergo reduction very easily. So the electrode which can undergo reduction very easily can be taken as the cathode. Okay, so out of two, we have to take anode, cathode. You can see the example. In case of Daniell cell, that is made up of zinc and copper. We know that zinc is an anode and copper is a cathode. Why zinc only taken as an anode? Why not as a cathode? And again, why copper only taken as a cathode, why not anode? So you can see the electrochemical series here, zinc the electrode potential values minus 0.76, and whereas the copper electrode potential values plus 0.34. So less reduction potential value zinc, so hence it can act as an anode, and the copper is having more reduction potential values, hence it can act as a cathode. So whenever if they give the two electrodes, always we have to check that the electrode with less reduction potential value always acts as an anode, with more reduction potential value acts as a cathode. So this is very important. And the next, based on this, here metals are the elements which are having more reduction potential values or less reduction potential values. Generally, less reduction potential values elements can act as a more electropositive in nature, and they can replace the metals with less electropositive in nature. And this point, more active metals, or we can say more electropositive metals, or which are having less reduction potential values, more electropositive metals means which are having least reduction potential values. Can replace less electropositive metals from their salts. From their salts. Generally, more electropositive metals can replace the less electropositive metals from their salts. Just example. You can take zinc. This is a more electropositive compared to the copper. Let us take copper sulfate. And here zinc can replace the copper from its salt. It can form zinc sulfate plus copper, or element which is having less reduction potential value can replace the metal from its salt which is having the more reduction potential values. And from this point also sometimes we may get the question like this: which of the following is correct? Let me see. Or feasible or possible. First one, zinc sulfate solution can store in copper bottle, or else second one, copper sulfate solution can store in silver bottle, or silver nitrate solution can store in zinc bottle. Now let us say all are possible. Okay, how can we answer for this question? Just you check their electrode potential values. You know that zinc electrode potential value is less compared to the copper, and copper is still less than the silver. And zinc, this is minus 0.76, just now we have discussed, and copper plus 0.34 and silver 0.8 plus. Means what? Zinc can replace copper sulfate, and copper can replace silver nitrate, and also zinc can replace silver nitrate. That is feasible. Means zinc metal can react with copper sulfate. See here, zinc sulfate reverse is not feasible. Zinc only can react with copper sulfate. That's it. But copper will not react with zinc sulfate. Okay? So you can take zinc, you can store the zinc sulfate in the copper bottle comfortably. If you add zinc sulfate to the copper, the reaction is not possible. We will get, for example, here copper sulfate plus zinc. Here backward reaction is feasible, not the forward reaction, isn't it? So you can easily store the zinc sulfate in the copper bottle. Second case also, copper sulfate silver means when you add copper sulfate to the silver bottle, you will get copper plus some silver ions. And here reverse is feasible again. But this is not possible. Forward reaction again not feasible, backward reaction is feasible. Again you can comfortably store copper sulfate, you can store in silver bottle. But when you add silver nitrate to the zinc bottle, what happens here? Zinc and silver nitrate. Now the silver nitrate will react with the zinc bottle. Then it will form zinc ions and can deposit as a silver. So zinc bottle now converted into solid converted into the liquid form. Then after some time there is no more zinc bottle, so you cannot store the silver nitrate in zinc bottle. So like this we cannot. Only first and second is feasible and third is not possible. We cannot store the silver nitrate in zinc bottle. And third application, highly active metal. Generally elements with less reduction potential values are high active in nature. Less reduction potential values. So let me take directly less standard reduction potential. Instead of using every time reduction potential, let me take SRP values. Electrode with less SRP values, they are more active in nature. And element with more SRP values, they are less active, more active metals. And here, more active metals can displaces the hydrogen from water, or they can liberate the hydrogen from water. More active metals can displace or can produce hydrogen from water. Either you can take cold or hot water, doesn't matter. They can produce hydrogen. More active metals, we have the sodium, potassium, magnesium. Either you can take sodium or potassium or calcium, some etc. These can produce hydrogen from water. But whereas the less active metals means less electropositive metal, this is more active or more electropositive we can say, and less electropositive metals like iron, chromium and zinc. These can replace they can produce hydrogen from steam only, from hot water. And if you use the steam, they can produce hydrogen. Generally, if the activity decreases, the reactive nature also decreases. And if you use further very less electropositive metals like copper and silver, gold and platinum, these they are having high reduction potential values, so very less electropositive in nature, and these cannot react even with cold water or steam or hot water. Whether you take cold water or steam, there is no reaction. Only highly electropositive metals or more active metals only can displace the hydrogen from water. Okay. Next, similarly, highly positive or highly electropositive metals can displace hydrogen from dilute acids also. Highly electropositive metals means which are having less reduction potential values. Again, electrodes with less SR, standard reduction potential values, can displace hydrogen from dilute acids. But mostly we can take HCl or H2SO4, dilute acids. You can see again here the sodium or potassium, or you can take some irons also with acids, zinc. These can simply which are having above hydrogen in the electrochemical series, above hydrogen they can replace or they can displace the hydrogen from dilute acids. You can take dilute acid, they can produce hydrogen gas. But the elements which are present below the hydrogen in the electrochemical series or which are having more reduction potential values than the hydrogen, they cannot displace, like copper and the silver, some etc. If you treat with dilute acid, here no reaction. Only which are present above the hydrogen can displace the hydrogen from the dilute acids, and which are present below they cannot displace the hydrogen from the dilute acids. And one more. Generally, the oxides of highly electropositive metals are highly stable in nature, thermally stable, and oxides of less electropositive metals, they are less thermally stable. More electropositive metal oxides. More electropositive metal oxides are thermally stable. So they are more reactive in nature, so more affinity towards the oxygen, and they can form stronger oxides like sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, calcium oxide, alumina, some etc. So these are highly thermally stable, and whereas the element with less, more reduction potential values are less electropositive metal oxides. Or thermally unstable. Thermally unstable. What are they like? Silver you can take. Silver oxide. This is thermally unstable. It can easily undergo decomposition and it can form a metallic silver. Similarly, mercuric oxide. It can easily undergo decomposition. It can give the liquid mercury metal. Like these are some unstable metal oxide, and these are stable metal oxide again due to their reduction potential values. Let me take few questions here. The standard reduction potentials of zinc is given as minus 0.74 volt, silver is given as plus 0.8. And what is the EMF of the cell? Find EMF of cell. So if you construct a cell by using these two electrodes, and what is the EMF? Anyhow, here zinc can act as an anode, and silver, and whose reduction potential is more, can act as a cathode. Then EMF of the cell, EMF is equals to electrode potential of cathode minus electrode potential of anode. Nothing but reduction potentials, electrode potential here. Cathode reduction potential 0.8 minus and anode reduction potential minus 0.74. So minus 0.74. And that can give minus minus plus, you can add together, overall 1.54 ohms. And this is the EMF of the resultant cell. Zinc 2 plus and cadmium 2 plus cadmium. And here the reduction potential values are given like this. Again, how can you calculate here? EMF, cell reaction. This indicates it is the anode and this is the cathode. So again, EMF values. E cathode minus E anode. E cathode, this is minus 0.4 and minus plus 0.76. That can give overall plus 0.36 volts. Copper 2 plus, iron 2 plus 2 iron. So find whether the spell is spontaneous or not. So this is non-spontaneous. Why? Because the anode is having more reduction potential acts as an anode, and the electrode which is having less reduction potential acts as a cathode. So this is not possible. Always this should act as an anode and this should be act as a cathode. So here we have taken reverse. The overall cell reaction is non-spontaneous. Or else you can calculate E cell value, that is E cathode minus E anode. In this case, what is a cathode? They have taken iron as a cathode, so minus 0.44. What is the anode here? Copper as an anode, so minus 0.8. So you will get minus overall 1.24. The resultant E cell value is negative. So means that it is non-spontaneous cell reaction. So A gives S to A2 plus and 2 electrons, and whose value is here B2 plus giving 2 electrons, and here E0 value now find out the electrode potential of this given cell. For this cell, what is the electrode potential value? So you have given like this: A is giving A2 plus 2 electrons, there is an oxidation reaction, and B2 plus 2 electrons reduction reaction. This is a cell representation. So you have to calculate E cell and you check the spontaneity of this cell. Spontaneity of the cell, whether the cell is spontaneous or not. First you have to calculate E cell. What is E cell for this cell, given cell? What is the anode here and what is the cathode here? A is the anode and B is the cathode according to the representation. Always left side we will write anode and right side we will write cathode. So E cathode minus E anode. What is the E cathode? And this is the one. How much? Plus 0.25. What is the cathode means? What we have to take here? The reduction potential value of cathode we have to take. So B2 plus 2 electrons means this is a reduction reaction. So corresponding value is reduction potential value only. Minus E anode. What is the reduction potential of anode? What I gave here. Is this reduction potential? This is not a reduction potential value. This is the oxidation potential value. So this reaction indicates the oxidation reaction. And the corresponding potential is oxidation potential. First you have to convert this into the reduction potential. What is the reduction potential? With the same magnitude, opposite sign. 0.5 is the reduction potential now. 0.5. So this point is very important. Don't take as it is. You check first the given value, the electrode potential values, are they given in terms of oxidation or reduction. If they give in terms of oxidation, you convert it into the reduction. Always you take the electrode potential values in terms of reduction potential values only, unless they mention. If they mention, especially find out oxidation potential, then you can change it. Otherwise, you convert it into the reduction potential values. Now you will get minus 0.25. So negative E cell value means the cell reaction is non-spontaneous. So this representation is non-spontaneous, not a spontaneous cell.